Welcome, everybody, to the iOS Cup Series here on Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. You guys are in for a treat here. We've got the Championship 4 battling it out for the championship here in the iOS Cup Series. And I have a special guest here in the booth with me tonight. He is a former iOS champion and also half of the fantastic crew from the Logan and Cody show. Everybody, welcome our good friend, Logan Hagen. What's that? You sure? That guy? Oh, it's Cody Moore in the booth with me tonight.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
Man, it's great to have you here, a former iOS Cup champion, here in the booth with us. One who knows the pressure of having to win it all here in the final race. And it's going to be a fantastic one tonight. We've got our four drivers, Colin Willems, Brian Newty, Eddie Morris, and Chris Wheeler, on track to battle it out tonight. We're going to talk with all four of those guys before the race starts, and I'm going to pull them in just a few moments. But man, what have you been seeing? I know you've been running some laps here at Phoenix just to get a feel for the track.
Rear tires are going to be at a premium tonight. I ran about 10 laps, and yeah, my rear tires were getting burned off a lot faster than my fronts. I had to turn the brake bias way down to try to get the car to turn. So yeah, we're definitely in for a good race.
That's for sure, and that's going to be the key tonight. Really is being able to save those tires. As we know, Brian Newty, Colin Willems, both very, very good at saving tires, but nothing to take away from Eddie Morris or Chris Wheeler, who are both very, very good when it comes to having to be there at the end, making a late race run, push hard. So, you know, if it comes down to a green-white checker situation, we might see those guys up there battling for position as well.
For sure, and I think that's going to set up to some people gambling on tires, especially keep your eye on Eddie Morris.
So we take a look at Phoenix, we take a look at the track temperature and what's going on here tonight, and it should be a great one. What I'm going to do now is I am going to pull in our final four. I'm going to move them to the waiting room, and then I'm going to bring us both down into the waiting room so that we can all chat with these final four. And where's Chris? And I moved them to the wrong waiting room, but that's all right. We're going to move them over to this waiting room, and let's jump on in there with these guys. Well, I've got the final four with me here for the final four of the race here for the championship in iOS. And Brian Newty, Chris Wheeler, Colin Willems, and Eddie Morris. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good. I hope you are.
Doing good.
Good, brother. Good.
Amazing.
And I brought you all in here because it's going to be a one at a time question, but I didn't want to take up too much time. So, Newty, I know you've been out there running. You were at the top of the board earlier, but you got sure you're back at the top of the board. What's going to be the secret to success here at Phoenix?
Just try to stay out of everybody's else's mess. Try to keep it clean, and just try to keep it in front of the other three.
Perfect. And Colin, who do you think is going to be your biggest competition tonight?
I think it's going to be everybody. To me, there's no one of the competitors here that stand out. I think it's going to be a hard battle all night long for all four of us.
And Chris Wheeler, I know kind of sneaking your way into the playoffs with consistency this year. What's going to be the secret for you tonight to get the win?
I'm just gonna go try and keep it clean, keep the car under me, and just try and finish in front of the other guys, and just gonna have to go hard and take chances.
And Eddie Morris, we know you came in second place to Dustin Dean in the first season. How does that playoff experience help you out going into tonight?
I mean, it's a whole different ball game, man. Phoenix being the last race, it's a little different of a track. It's not in Atlanta, it's not a Vegas, so it's going to be a tough one, man. And good luck to the other guys in here, and hopefully it's a great race like the ARCA race was last night.
That is for sure, and I want to wish all four of you good luck. I know Cody's in here. He's going to wish you good luck as well.
Good luck, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Cody.
And everybody have a great race. I'll move you guys back to your respective rooms.
Thank you, sir.
Good call, guys.
got to put people in the right rooms because that would be helpful. I don't think he belongs there.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
Oh, he's way up there. I'm just going to keep moving Colin around until I get him to the right room.
Musical.
He
rooms.
figured it out. Oh, Eddie, you're going to go here. All right, there we go. And then we'll go back into our broadcasting room. Well, Cody, as we got just a couple more moments of practice here, about 2.5 minutes, as you mentioned, tires are going to be the premium. And we might even see a little spoiler here tonight as we see Devin Buccino up at the top of the board, sitting second fastest right now. Actually, he just took over the top spot in practice, but it's just practice. But it's meaningful when you can see that you're showing some speed out there tonight, too.
Yeah, for sure. Buccino always comes in here real strong, but I gotta think Brian Newty's run at least 300 laps in practice. Colin's probably close behind him. I think experience and over a long run, if we get some green flag racing, is really going to be the key tonight.
I couldn't agree with you more. Phoenix is one of my favorite tracks, but it's a bit of a tricky track. Let's see if we can ride along on board with Brian Newty here. And for me, turn 3 tends to be the trickiest part of the track, but it's the most important part because you've got that great launch down the front stretch. You see Newty getting that great launch. I know I personally like to run a little bit on the apron there. Then when you come into turn 1, there's that wall that kind of creeps up on you. It's really easy to overdrive turns 1 and 2. And then you've got the dog leg. You see Brian staying up on the track, but the car in front of him, you saw him dive down to the bottom. That is open track. They can run down there, and you can see on restarts, I know we've seen it before, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide racing on the start. So as the 09 spins out right there in front of Newty. So it can be a very tricky track. It's also a great track where momentum is on your side, and that's what you need to keep yourself moving forward. It kind of runs like a short track.
Yeah, as Steve Letarte would always say.
Speaking of Steve, it's kind of surprising not to see Stephen Black in the room here tonight. I'm sure these guys are kind of happy about that, not having to worry about competing with him here tonight.
Yeah, it looks like a small field tonight. Looks like only 17 so far going to grid.
Well, I do see Derek Chaput has joined the server. He just hasn't turned a lap just yet. So looks like we're going to have at least 18 cars here when we take the green flag. Qualifying's going to start up in about 20 seconds. Don't forget, if you haven't already, like, follow, and subscribe here on Intensity Broadcasting. This is the last night of the iOS Cup Series, and sadly the end of a era here, as the iOS Cup Series will be rebranded very soon. And I can't remember exactly what the name of that new series is going to be. Cody, do you have an idea what it's called?
SCSRA, SSRA, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
And then I think there's another one called Extreme Max Force
Yeah,
League.
Extreme Forces Racing. That's going to run Monday, Tuesday. That's going to be by Dean Qualley and Max McClure. And then you're going to have the SCSRA, not to be confused with the SESRA that runs before this, the Dirt Series League. So we'll have them on Tuesday and Wednesday nights here on Intensity as well. So take a look out on track. We got our first taker for qualifying, non-playoff driver, Michael Provolt here. Here, Provolt working that throttle a little bit off the corner. And our first playoff driver to take the track at Brian Newty, running way down through that dog leg, trying to cut as much of the track as possible, making the track as short as possible.
And watch Brian here, how he's going to try to hug that yellow line all the way through the corners here.
See Brian right down, like I said, that wall creeps up on you there, and he is not quite as low as I figured he'd be, but he's got a good line there through the corner, way down through the dog leg again. And a great entry, a nice sweeping arc into turn 3 and 4, running a little bit up the track, but off of turn 4 into the stripe. And right now, Brian Newty is going to be on provisional full with a 27-12. Chris Wheeler, though, no slouch. Currently third on the speed charts with 27-40. So he comes across the line for his second lap. And he actually runs a little bit slower on his second lap. See Eddie Morris now. Oh, go ahead.
Just going to say that 27-12 is going to be hard to beat.
Brandon Wright ran a 27-15. So he's right up there as well, as Eddie Morris has some issues on his out lap, so he's going to reset and try again.
Bacino with the dagger, 27-0.
27-09 for Bacino to take over the pole, but that outside line's not a bad line to have here on the starts.
No, I'm surprised. I was watching some of these guys in practice, and they're all hugging that yellow line. They must know something that as the track gets hotter or cooler, must find speed in that higher line.
Eddie with a great line off of turn 4. Right up against that wall, using every inch of the track. And that's what you want to see. That car was locked in on that yellow line into entry. Not using the dog leg, though. That's kind of surprising. Runs up the track a little bit here on his lap. As Eddie comes across the line here, he's going to move up into the 5th spot, 27-33. Just ahead of Chris Wheeler.
Yeah, we really saw how Brian kind of ran real low off the corner. I think that really helped him get that big run down the straightaway.
Eddie pushes way up through the corner there, and I don't think it's going to help him too much. Oh, as he gets loose there off of turn number 4, catches the inside wall, and Eddie's going to have to settle with a 27-33. Still waiting for Colin, though, to go out. I know he likes to qualify late. See our newest iOS winner in the iOS Truck Series, Brian Merrill Jr.
Who didn't enjoy that one is my question.
Me.
Oh, that's right.
So, yeah, for those of you who weren't watching, me and Brian, actually me and Cody were running 1-2 at Talladega last week, and I went up to side draft on Cody, and Brian Merrill Jr. made a move out of nowheres to get around me and take the win last week. So, great win for him. Happy to see him win in the Truck Series. We see William Walter Witt, the 5th, out on track in that 35 Budweiser machine.
Can he finally get that elusive first win in iOS?
This would be a good track for him. I know he's a pretty good short track racer. Likes the dirt tracks and likes the super speedways, as we've seen in the Pelican Snowball Series.
Yeah, Will's one of my favorite guys to race around.
So he runs a 27-38. That's going to be good enough for 6th at the moment. See Nick Mather out on track. The London, Ontario native. Looks like he's done with his qualifying attempt. He's going to pull down to the inside. Same with 84 of Dave Wright coming across. Actually, he's coming through the dog leg right now. I think Dave's just running some practice laps here. I don't think this is his qualifying attempt. Yeah, he's woeing down to enter the pits here. Get some pit practice. Good time to do that. Now Colin Willems across the stripe for his opening lap of qualifying. Colin, the first car to really be able to hug that yellow line through 1 and 2. Great entry into turn number 3.
Yeah, real wide arc. And yeah, he comes off low again. This should be a good lap.
And that little diamond is a great way to run 3 and 4. He moves up to 7th. Let's see what he can do on his second lap here. Again, right down on that yellow line. I think that's the lowest we've seen anybody through turns 1 and 2 so far. Again, that big wide arc into turn number 3. Oh, he has to get out of it a little bit. He had the back end sliding around. He's able to hold on to it. Fortunately, I don't think it's going to be good enough. I think he's going to lose a little bit of time there. Yeah, he ran a 27.60 on his second lap. So as of right now, looks like he's going to be starting from the 7th position.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, Josh. Like you said, that top line is holding a lot of speed.
And in the chat on Facebook, we see Devin Buccino say that old 68 is quick. We'll have to see what he can do during the race here. Maybe he can play spoiler to the Championship 4. And again, those Championship 4 are Brian Newty, Eddie Morris, Colin Willems, and Chris Wheeler. So we'll have to see which one of those takes the coveted iOS Cup Series trophy. I hear it's a pretty big trophy, isn't it? You've got one of those at home, don't you?
I don't, but it's being sent in the mail. I'm confident it's going to come this week. Max assures me it's been sent. It's been lost in the mail a few times, but he keeps sending new ones. So I'm confident that I'm finally going to get my coveted iOS trophy.
And on the YouTube, Tyler Aspinall says, "Get her done, Eddie Morris." So you got one Eddie Morris fan in the chat here, but I haven't seen the bot squad come in just yet to root on Colin Willems, which I'm sure he's firing up that program right now so he can get all those cheers there in the Facebook page. And we've got about a minute and a half before we start gridding here. Again, we'll take this opportunity real quick to remind you to join us tomorrow night for the LNS late model series here on Intensity Broadcasting. That'll go off just before the iOS Truck Series. The iOS Truck Series also with their Championship 4 tomorrow night. So we look forward to that. As our final 4 tomorrow night will be Stephen Black, Brian Merle Jr., Kyle Mays, and Isaiah Gill. So that will be a fun one to watch because we know Stephen Black's going to be fast. It's just a matter if he can hold on for the win and hopefully nothing yellow come out or get caught up in a wreck or bad fuel pit strategy costs him the win in the championship.
Keep your eye on Isaiah Gill, though. He is really, really strong at Phoenix.
That's for sure. And maybe we get something surprise. Maybe Brian Merle Jr. can learn something here tonight that he can carry into tomorrow night. We've seen that happen in the real life where they run the earlier race and it really plays into their hand for the next one. So we'll see.
We saw it last night, too, with Dylan Dunford coming in.
That's for sure. Dylan Dunford winning the championship over Brian Newty with a last corner pass to win the championship. So congratulations to Dylan Dunford on that. And Brian Newty here looking to get a little redemption, trying to get the championship after missing out on one last night.
After missing out on basically all the iOS championships that have ever been contested.
That is very, very true. I think he's been in every single playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
I know he's been in the Final Four of every Cup Series.
Oh. So tonight we'll have 120 laps here at Phoenix, and we're going to go through the starting grid. Again, your pole sitter tonight, that 68 machine of Devin Buccino with Brian Newty in the 40 machine to his outside. Then we'll find the 019 of Brandon White rolling off in the 3rd spot, and Zachary Cox in the 51 to his outside in the 4th spot. Eddie Morris in the 8. He'll be rolling off in 5th with William Walter Witt, the 5th, outside of him in row number 3. Then Colin Willems and Chris Wheeler, a pair of playoff drivers, sitting back in row number 4. Row number 5, last week's truck winner, Brian Merle Jr. in the 74 to the inside of the 82 intensity zone, Joe Wright. Starting 11th, the 84 of Dave Wright with the 49 of TJ Floyd to his outside. Row 7 will find the 47 of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence and the 09 of Michael White. Nick Mather in the 15th starting position with Michael Provolt to his outside in 16th. 17th, Cody Moore, he's not running because he's up here in the booth with me. So Sylvan Seguin and Derek Chaput are going to round out the rest of the field here as we look forward to this awesome championship race.
Josh, I know it's one of your favorite rivalries, but I heard right before the race started, Junior actually wished Chris Wheeler good luck.
That's fantastic, and we know that they've had quite the rivalry from the beginning of iOS, and we'll have to make sure that they stay away from each other here at the end of iOS. But your championship 4 starting in the top 8, and surprisingly, 3 of them are 7th, 8th. 5th, 7th, and 8th. So those 3 were all right around each other. Eddie Morris being the highest qualifier out of those 3. Tyler Aspinall says Brian Newty is the new Mark Martin. That would be a great compliment and a incredible representation of the bad luck that Newty has had through the years. Just not able to get it done there when it matters.
One thing to note, the 019 did not take the grid, so Eddie Morris is going to move up 1 spot here.
So that's going to put Eddie Morris to the inside of row number 2. So that will be an interesting turn of events there, and a great opportunity for him to get some points here. Again, there will be no stage, as this is the championship race. As the cars come off of turn number 4, the pace car takes the hard turn onto pit road. Green flag is in the air, and Bacino gets a great jump. But Brian Newty already trying to look to the inside as Eddie Morris was trying to get to the inside of Newty there on the start. The 51 is Zachary Cox starting to slide backwards. Oh, Will Witt catches the wall just a little bit, able to keep it going straight. And now Newty's going to set his sights on the 68 of Bacino. And already, we got Joe Wright sideways in the back, but he's able to hold on to it. Great save for that 82 machine. As we look back up front at the battle for the lead between Bacino and Newty.
You definitely do not want to be the guy that brings out caution lap 1 in the championship race.
That's for sure. And Colin Willems already making some moves up into the 5th position, so he's already got up 2 spots, and he's looking at the back bumper of Zachary Cox. One driver having a great start so far is Derek Chaput in the 37 machine. Really haven't talked about him yet. Already up 7 spots into the 12th position, so Chaput's always one to be there right at the end. We'll see if that happens again tonight, if he can play spoiler. As the front 2 cars are starting to pull away from Eddie Morris just a little bit. And Joe Wright around Cheeseburger Lawrence on the outside, and he's starting to move his way back forward after having that little slide to start the race. And Chris Wheeler, another playoff driver, really hasn't gained or lost any positions, right there in 8th where he started, so just try to stay out of the way, be consistent, and be there at the end, because to win this championship, you're going to have to be there at the end. Colin Willems starting to close in on Zachary Cox. Last time by, he was almost 0.2 of a lap faster, and see if he can close in on that 51 machine.
These guys have got to be thinking, how am I going to save my stuff? What lap am I going to pit on? Can I make it in 2 stops?
Yeah, because I believe fuel mileage here should be right around 60 laps or so, 60, 70 laps, if I remember correctly. Charlie?
Yeah, I think it's closer to 40 in my pre-race, but that those numbers could be off. But I'd be surprised if they could make it in 1 stop.
Charlie Gates on YouTube says, guys are running clean, fast laps. They sure are. As Devin Bacino has now almost gone out to almost a 2nd lead, and we've got our first yellow flag out. That's going to bring up our first Wreckage Rewind in the night. It looks like Brian Merle Jr. had some issues here. And let's see if we can see what happened to Junior Nation. Looks like he was running all by himself here. Off of turn number 4, and we've seen that just being a little low off of turn number 4. Barely kisses that inside wall, so not a lot of damage. but just enough to spin the car out and get a yellow flag here. Dean Qualley says, is that the famous Cody Moore? That is the famous Cody Moore here up in the booth with me tonight. Enjoying a scene from the track up here in the booth as opposed to down in the car.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, I'm actually disappointed that Logan's not here instead of me.
I think a lot of our listeners are too. No, I'm playing. There wouldn't be anybody better I'd like here in the booth than anybody in the league here that wants to come up and talk with me.
Well, thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. Looks like no takers on pit road this early.
That is true. It looks like, yep, it even looks like Brian Merle Jr. stayed out here, so it doesn't look like he had enough damage to hurt the car, so he stays out. Oh, actually, you do have a couple takers on the pit road. Looks like Michael Provolt and Brian Merle Jr. are both on pit road.
Yeah, and if you're in the back, I mean, why not? You're already in the back of the field. Might as well fuel up, save your tires. Maybe you can catch somebody on strategy.
As you can see on the ticker, both Brian Merle Jr. and Michael Provolt do not have numbers next to their name. That means that they are currently on pit road. That's something new that we've added to the broadcast so you can see who's on pit road when. So it goes along with our new fancy camera work that I've been working on. Looks like Eddie Morris faked on the pit road. Looked like he was going to come for a second, but he stays out. So it looks like one more lap and we'll have the lights shut off on the pace car. We'll get ready to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them here at Phoenix.
Looks like all our contenders are currently running in the top 7. If you're Chris Wheeler, at what point do you start thinking about maybe I have to change it up and not do what the leaders do?
You know, if I was Chris Wheeler, I would have kind of already started thinking about that, not doing what the leaders are doing. It's you know, a gamble at times, but I forgot to see what these guys have three sets of tires in the pits, 2 sets of tires in the pits.
I think it's 2. I'll check on that real quick.
I think it's been 2 all season, so I imagine we'll have.
Yeah, 2 sets of tires. Stephen Black claims there will be a stage break at the end of lap 24, so we'll have to see if that happens.
All right.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's for
Las Vegas.
No
Yeah.
tonight. Yeah.
No stage
I
championship.
assumed he had put a race check in here, but he did not.
I know he's been busy in the service, so do appreciate what Steven does for the country. But here at Phoenix, we're getting ready to rock and roll again as Devin Buccino takes the inside line for the restart here. Eddie Morris is going to be right behind him. Can Eddie Morris get a good jump to try to get around Brian Newty? We'll see as the pace car takes that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Devin Buccino hits that loud pedal early. We're already back green flag racing, and that's exactly what happened as Eddie Morris was able to get around Brian Newty there to take over the second position. And we already have another yellow flag out as it looks like Michael Lawrence and TJ Floyd both spun around on the front stretch, and that's going to bring up another Wreckage Rewind.
And this is going to put Brian Newty on the second row on this next restart.
Which we've already kind of seen could be a bit of an advantage here. As we take a look at what happened to our leaders here, our drivers back here. Looks like Cheeseburger caught the wall a little bit on the start and came down into Cody. I don't know if he spun the tires a little bit on the start.
Gilled it.
He might have gilded a little bit. Oh, Brian Merrill Jr. involved in that as well. Let's ride along with Cheeseburger here. Let's see if we can hear the tires light up. Nope, it looks like he just misjudged the wall and brushed it slightly, came down into TJ Floyd, and then came back across the track. Sorry, TJ came back across the track and was smacked by, I think he was hit by Brian Marl Jr. there. We're going to double check that.
And Junior's saying over the radio that he thinks it was netcode and he didn't get a lot of damage.
Yeah, looks like he went right through. Silva Seguin got on by as well. Michael Provolt able to get it slowed down, get around the chicane.
Road course at Phoenix.
Phoenix has a great road course. I don't know if you've ever driven
It
the road
does.
course here, but it is fantastic. It's challenging.
A really good rally course as well.
Does have a fantastic rally course here. Tyler Aspinall says, why did it have to be Cheeseburger? It's all right. Cheeseburger can go in there, get a fresh car, be able to come back out here, see what he can do. Again, the only points that really matter tonight are for the top four, battling for the championship. So a couple cars are coming down to pit road. It looks like Joe Wright and David Wright both coming down the pit road. So maybe a little strategy for the Wright brothers here.
Yeah, and all these caution laps are getting them closer and closer to being able to maybe make it on one stop. I'm sure that the top four there are already cycling their engines.
Oh, I would be too if I was them. Well, I do take that back. The 17th and 18th position on my screen just don't want to pop up. It has nothing to do with being on pit road because they're already off of pit road. Looks like there's something going on with my my tower there. So let's move on over to the ticker here and see if that looks any better.
I don't know. Joe Wright's back on pit road. I don't know if he's topping off.
Yep, he's just tapping off. He's leaving pit road now. But he's got to hurry because the field just came off a turn number, actually it just came through the dog leg there, and they're entering turn number 3. So Joe, nope, Joe is able to catch the field here. As the pace car takes the left turn onto pit road, Bacino chooses the outside this time. Green flag back in the air, and now Colin Willems to the outside of Eddie Morris trying to take over that second spot on the high side. We got 3 of our playoff drivers, Eddie Morris, Colin Willems, and Brian Newty, all right there. With Zach Cox diving way down on the apron here. Colin Willems move him up into the second spot. Here comes Eddie Morris, though. Drives it in hard into turn number 3, almost pushes up the track. And Colin Willems is going to take that position away as Eddie slides up in front of Newty. Newty crosses him over now into turn number 1. Brian Newty down to the bottom of Eddie Morris. Eddie pushes way up the track, almost catches the wall. And Newty's going to take over that third spot. So I think Devin Buccino taking that high side on the restart to trap Brian Newty back. And it worked out for him because it kept Newty back there. But what he wasn't expecting was Colin Willems to have such a great start, as Colin is now all over the back bumper of Devin Buccino.
It's so important to try to get a jump with that leader when they take off, because with the leader controlling the restart, they can really get a huge jump.
So we ride along here off the back bumper of Buccino, as Colin was able to roll the corner a little bit better on the start there, but it looks like Devin's now starting to pull back away. And Bacino down on that dog leg, trying to shorten the track as much as he can.
We're really going to see here soon who's taking care of their tires and who isn't.
So now the field's starting to stretch out just a little bit. A little battle going on back here. Will Witt all over the back bumper of Chris Wheeler, trying to take away that 6th position. Looks like he's going to cross him over here. Tries to get down to the inside. Not able to do it, though. We see Eddie Morris starting to fall back a little bit. And Eddie might be, as we were talking about before, saving his stuff a little bit. Trying to make it last so he can be there at the end. Especially if he was able to catch a late race yellow. He might be able to do something here to get himself into contention.
Yeah, and of the 4, I would watch for Eddie doing that. He's tried that strategy in the past, and it's almost paid off for him.
Colin Willems currently solidly in 2nd. Brian Newty, though, starting to catch him a little bit. Newty's running almost a 10th faster than Colin is right now, so slowly gaining to the back bumper of that 17 machine.
Yeah, this top 5-6 cars are really running similar lap times.
Buccino, though, in that fresh air, that clean air, I should say, still able to pull the fastest laps here. Last time by, he ran a 27.79. Actually, him and Newty just ran identical lap times. And Colin Williams ran a 27.76. So the 3 of them within 4/100ths of a second on track.
Now, if you're Colin Willems and Brian Newty, do you even care what Buccino? Oh, we got a caution here.
We got a caution now. It looks like not sure who that was. Oh, is that the stage end? Lap 24.
Are they awarding points for stage 2? No. No, it's winner. It's highest finishing position takes all.
That's what I thought. I just didn't see what brought out the yellow here.
I think it's a stage.
Oh,
'cause Sylvan
nope.
threw it.
I see it. It's 84 got down into the wall. Do apologize for having the time up there instead of the lap count. Thank you, Tyler, for that. I usually don't use the ticker for the race, but having issues with the tower, so moving on over to the ticker, and I usually keep the ticker just for practice and qualifying. So thank you for letting us know. At least I don't have the music running like I did the other night for the SESRA race, as everybody's coming down to pit road.
It's like the 82 is going to stay out, but yeah, our championship 4 all going down pit road.
So let's see if we can catch the race off pit road here. Adjust the camera here so we can get that for you guys. Possibly. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get that for you. Here they come off pit road. Buccino off first. Brian Newty off second. So it's like Joe Wright's going to be your leader here. So we set our camera up for later on in the race for the race off pit road.
Colin Willems with a slow stop.
Yeah, Colin fell all the way back. Actually,
But it
not
may
all the
work
way.
out for him. Oh, sorry, Josh. I was just going to say it may work out for him based on what lane the leader takes here.
I believe Colin may have taken right sides. Because Devin and Newty both had 6-second stops. Colin had 7.5-second stops, so maybe he might have missed his pit stall too.
No, I can confirm Colin took right sides, the others took fuel.
So there you have it. So a little gamble here as these guys only have 2 sets of tires. So we'll see if those tires pay off for Colin playing a little different strategy than everybody else tonight. So we ride along here with Colin Willems. Looking cool and collected there in the driver's seat. Getting ready to restart here on the high side.
It's like Joe Wright is going to take the inside lane, which I can only think is going to benefit Brian Newty here.
That's for sure, as Brian Newty is going to be able to get the jump that Buccino is not going to.
Tire spin could possibly be an issue here too.
One car I'm going to be looking out for tire spin is that 17. Even though he took right sides, that means his left sides are nice and hot. Those right sides are nice and cool. And you can tell, you know, that changes the handling of these cars tremendously. So we'll see what happens here with Colin's restart as the pace car gets ready to take that hard left turn onto pit road. Joe Wright leads them back down to the starting zone. Green flag is in the air. And looks like a, wow, 3 wide move into turn number 1 as Newty is looking down to the inside. Colin Williams was looking to the outside. He backed out of it. Now Buccino's going to dive way down onto that dog leg.
17 has some speed on those new tires.
Yeah, those new tires are definitely working for that 17 as he's working the outside of Buccino. Gets a little loose.
He feels like Superman right now.
For sure. Got a little loose there off corner exit and really overdrive turn 1. Here comes Eddie Morris. Yeah, Eddie Morris making moves, trying to get to the inside of Brian Newty. And Eddie did not take tires here. So he's just using what he can here, trying to get to the pit stop. So a great battle. As Eddie gets loose on the bottom, unfortunately, he's going to fall back. That's going to give Brian Newty sole position of that 4th position. And Colin Williams really showing that those new tires are making a difference. Joe Wright's got Buccino now looking down to his inside. Almost some contact between those two as Joe's forced way up the track. Almost gets into the wall. And Devin Buccino's going to take that position away as Zachary Cox way down on the dog leg was almost to the inside of Brian Newty, but Newty was able to drive off a little bit better. Now Newty looking to the inside of Colin Williams, but just not able to get there. Brian Newty now looking down to the inside. Newty looked like he had the position there for a second, but just not able to make it happen.
Yeah, it looks like Colin's running that high line too on those new tires. I'm surprised he's not at a faster pace than he is right now.
And again, Newty looks down to the inside, but just not able to peek that nose underneath. And while those two were battling, it's allowed Buccino to pull out to over a half a second lead. As he's the only driver on track right now who's still in the 27-second bracket. Last time by, he ran a 27.8. Colin Williams ran a 28.1. And Newty ran a 28.09. So, your fastest three are the top 3.
Colin cannot be happy about this pit call either, taking 2 tires and not being any faster than Bacino here, who's really just pulling away.
And we've seen that before, as Bacino did the same thing early at New Hampshire. He was able to pull away on those older tires. So we'll have to see how this works out in his favor as the race goes on. And an impressive run by Zachary Cox there, sitting in the 4th position. Not really pushing the issue or anything, but having a great solid race. Eddie Morris back into the 5th position after sliding back, battling with Newty a few laps ago. He's moved his way back up in the 5th. So a great recovery for him. Where's our other playoff driver, Chris Wheeler? Currently
Got caution on the track here.
Yeah, caution on the track. Looks like it was for the 66 of Sylvan Segoin. Let's take a look with our Wreckage Rewind and see what happened to Sylvan here. Sylvan hooking that apron there through turns 3 and 4. Exiting, same thing that happened to Junior earlier, just exiting off of turn number 4 a little low. Gets loose and spins it around, so. Not too much damage to the front end of that car. A little crinkle, but he should be able to get that fixed and get back out there. Really no harm, no foul. And now Ducino fakes on the pit road. Colin Willems, Brian Newty, Eddie Morris all coming.
How does iRacing treat that orange box? Because he was definitely over top of it.
Yeah, the orange box doesn't matter. It's the cone. So as long as he doesn't pass that cone, he's good. Just the orange box really doesn't mean anything. So Chris Wheeler, the only playoff driver staying out.
I like it. I think it's a good call.
So we're going to watch for the race off of pit road here. Will Witt gets out. Colin Willems, the first playoff driver off of pit road. Then Brian Newty. Junior. Dave Wright. There goes Eddie Morris.
And Colin Willems taking left sides on this stop.
I mean, Colin Willems now has almost a full fresh set on, so he's only got, what, about 10 laps on those right sides? Yeah, about 10 green flag laps on the right side. So this may not hurt him too much. This might actually help him a little bit.
Yeah, and I gotta think he was saving, because I just, again, that not being fast on those right sides for Colin doesn't make much sense to me.
Cassie Williams in the chat says, "Let's go, Colin." Surprised the rest of the bot squad hasn't chimed in yet. But it's always great to see the support that we get from Cassie and Nick's wife as well.
Well, it's tough. Those social media platforms are always trying to shut down those bots. He's got to keep up with them.
Yeah, but they're Canadian bots, not Russian bots, so it's a little different.
They're nicer.
They're definitely nicer, and they'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, I haven't heard Colin say he's taking the oot side yet.
Oh, Devin Bacino will be your leader with Zachary Cox in second, and Bacino's going to take, looks like he's going to take the inside lane here. Yeah, he is. Zachary Cox will be on the outside. Chris Wheeler up in the third. And as I mentioned earlier, Derek Chaput up into the 4th spot, just kind of biding his time here.
He's so good at that. Every time you turn around, Chaput's top 5 when it really matters.
Oh. It's kind of like I was going to say, he's kind of like a ninja. He just kind of shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah. If Chris Wheeler can really kind of hang on here, top 3, top 4, top 5, and get a good run here, and then come in and get his tires, he's going to be in a really good spot, because I think we know Colin's taken one set
Yeah, we know the other drivers haven't taken any. So, and Pacino back on that loud pedal early. Green flag in the air. Zach Cox gets really loose there on the start, spins the tires, but able to hold on to it. We see the 09 of Michael White down on the bottom of Chaput there as they're battling for position. And look at, now we see the speed from that 17 of Colin Willems.
Really good start for Chris Wheeler, too.
Yeah, Chris Wheeler up into the second position. Currently our highest running playoff driver. If the race was the win right now, Chris Wheeler would be your champion. But there is still a lot of run to go as the yellow flag is out. And oh no, Eddie Morse, one of our playoff drivers, in the wall on the front stretch with Cheeseburger.
You hate to see this.
You hate to see it. That's going to bring up yet another Wreckage Rewind. Let's see if we can see what happened between Eddie and Michael Lawrence here. Eddie's actually battling to the inside of TJ Floyd, and loses it, overcorrects it. Cheeseburger and Junior involved in that. We'll have to see if Eddie stays out here or if he goes in and gets some of that damage fixed.
It's always a tough call in races like this. You never know if it's going to be a caution fest, if you're going to get collected. I really am surprised at the amount of cautions we're having with the few amount of cars we're having.
Yes, with the technology of iRacing here, we can actually take a spin look at his car here, and back end very banged up and beat up.
You just want to show off your new camera angles.
I do. Front of this car really beat up, and yeah, unfortunate for that car. Actually, this one didn't get updated because he's supposed to have the 4 on the front, and I think he forgot to upload it to Trading Paints.
You're right. He was so proud of that.
We'll watch Eddie Morris here as he comes into the pits. Let's see if he takes a reset or if he stays in here and just gets that thing fixed up. I think restart. I was gonna say
I would not take my reset now.
Especially restarting in the back like he's going to. Oh no, he had to take the reset.
He does.
He might have had a meatball flag. For those of you who are not on iRacing, if you have too much damage, a suspension damage or wheel damage, they'll actually give you what's called the meatball flag, which is a black flag with a big orange circle on it. That means that you have to come in and get required damage fixed. 2 ways to do it. Wait for it to be fixed, which usually for a meatball, it's about 5 minutes worth of damage. Or actually just take your reset like we just saw Eddie do there. So,
or as some people do, you ask the admins to clear it.
Only when Newty's leading.
That's right.
Or if Colin tells you to stop on the track.
It's a touchy subject.
So many inside jokes here in the iOS series that it's hard to keep track of them all sometimes.
I don't know who I'd rather be right now. It's hard to say, not to say Wheeler with, track position, hasn't taken tires.
I mean, we'll have to see what line Buccino takes here, because if Buccino takes the high side, that would put Chris Wheeler to the inside, but it'd also trap Colin on that high side as well behind him, so he can kind of control what Colin does on this restart too.
And Buccino just said over the radio he's going to take the inside here.
Yep.
And again, watch for wheel spin on this restart. Last time Zachary Cox was really lucky to get out of there without losing that much track position.
Well, he had a 51 on his car, not a 2, so it made sense why he was able to keep that thing straight. I will never let that go.
Got to get him in while you can. You don't know how much longer you'll have Isaiah Gill around.
That's very, very true. Very, very true. See Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence coming to the back of the field. That car looking like a Northeast modified. But Devin Bacino, going to be your control car here as the pace car gets ready to take that hard left-hand turn. And he leads us down to the restart zone. Goes a little later than he's been going. Green flag in the air. Wheeler gets a great restart, though. He's going to get right around the 09 of Michael White going into turn number 1. Colin Williams, though, fighting on the outside of Michael White, trying to take that third position away. Michael White down on the bottom, going to use that dog leg to his advantage here. Almost gets alongside Chris Wheeler. But as we saw, Colin Williams has those newer tires, and he's going to make the best of them as he can. As we are about 10 laps away from halfway, here comes a couple playoff drivers battling for position now as Colin Williams looks down to the inside of the 22 of Chris Wheeler. He's going to take the second position away. Brian Newty was trying to make a move around the 09. Got stuck up on the high side and fell back. Now he gets around the 09 and he's going to set his sights on the 22 of Chris Wheeler. Will Witt running way up the track. I don't know if he's looking for a cushion out there or what he's doing, but he's been way up almost against the wall the last few laps, and it's been working for him up there through 3 and 4.
Yeah, Will loves the dirt, so maybe he's trying to find that cushion.
Let it all hang out there on the high side. Let's see if he runs that higher lane again. No, he's going to pull it in here. Trying to make that high lane work as Zach Cox is going to get past here. We saw the 09 of Michael White get really loose there. Lost a little momentum off the corner. Up front, your current, as they run, current points leader, Colin Williams, in that second position.
Pacino really starting to fall off in the last few laps here.
Yeah, Pacino running 0.3 of a second slower than Colin Williams, and Brian Newty was actually 0.2 of a second quicker than Colin Williams. So Newty's coming in a hurry. He's a half a second quicker than the leader right now.
Do you think he took right sides on the last stop there, Josh?
He might have. He might have taken right sides. I'm going to take a look at my my board. Brian Newty took 4 tires on the last stop. And I
Well, that
believe,
would explain the speed, yeah.
and I would believe Colin Williams took 4 tires too, because Colin's pit time was a 14:88 and Brian's was a 15:15.
If that's the case, Colin cannot feel good about not having any right sides left.
That is for sure. Especially as we are not even halfway yet. Oh, Newty loose on the bottom side. We're seeing that tricky turn number 4 there, exiting on the bottom, and Pacino in trouble right now. He's got 2 fast cars right behind him. And looking at lap times right now, I think Colin may have just stayed in the pits. Maybe he had a little damage or something he was getting fixed. Because it does look like he's only on 2 tires by the speed.
Yeah, I think I only saw the left side of that car go up.
So maybe he was in there waiting on fuel.
Man, these top 3 are really checking out.
They sure are. As Pacino looks down to that dog leg, that checks up Colin. That allows Newty to make the move down to the inside. Colin still early in the race, so he's just going to pull off to the side and let Newty on by. But he's going to fight back here on the outside now. I thought he was just going to pull over, let him by so he could continue to save his stuff, but looks like he's going to fight here.
He's fighting hard.
Chino running Newty way down the track there through the dog leg and into turn number 3. And Newty's starting to use that apron just a little bit to help the car turn.
And Newty's really driving that car hard on the inside. Colin's just kind of taking his time on the outside there. Wow, really good run down the straightaway.
Let's ride along with Brian Newty here. So we're 3 wide for the lead here at Phoenix. Brian Newty's going to take the lead. Here comes Colin Willen, though, fighting back on that high side. And yellow flag is back out. It looks like some issues for Michael Provolt. Yep, Michael Provolt spun around there. Let's see if we can see what happened to Provolt with our Wreckage Rewind. See Provolt coming through the I'm not sure what happened to Provolt there. I don't know if his maybe his wheel locked up or something, because the car just kind of turned left and he stayed down there. So
Maybe Colin told him to stop on the track.
it's possible. Devin Buccino on pit road now with Chris Wheeler, Will Witt, Michael White, Brian Merle Jr. We'll watch the race off of pit road here. And these guys are just racing to that green cone there. There we go. That's a good view of the race off pit road here. Chino just barely sneaks out, having that number one pit stall. Then Chris Wheeler, Will Witt, TJ Floyd, Chaput, Brian Merle Jr. There goes Sylvain Seguin. So that'll be all the drivers that pit. But that's going to put Colin Willems into the lead. And yes, Cody, you should know I'm going to use my new camera angles as much as I possibly can. I got to try to put a nice show on for these people sitting at home watching.
I hate to be speechless during a broadcast, but I'm just sitting here in awe with no words watching your camera work.
Again, if you're just joining us, this is the iOS Cup Series season finale. Actually, this would be the series finale, if you will.
Yeah, we can say that, I guess.
As we have our top four drivers, Colin Willem, Brian Newty, Eddie Morse, and Chris Wheeler fighting for a championship. They are your four playoff drivers, and your highest finishing driver will be your champion. Can we see a last lap pass like we saw last night in the ARCA series?
Or will strategy play out like I think it might with Eddie Morris, because I don't know that he's taken any tires yet.
That's true. Last time down pit road, Eddie had a long pit time. He was on pits for 30 seconds. So real quick, let's take a look at Eddie's car. It looks like it's clean, so not really sure what he was doing on pit road that long. Maybe he had to run to the men's room.
Man, that'd be a quick run.
Colin Willems is going to take the inside here. Brian Newty to the outside. Then Zachary Cox and Dave Wright up into the fourth position. Don't count out Dave Wright. We saw him have a great run at New Hampshire, another flat 1 mile track. Colin Willems gets the great jump here. We're back green flag racing. Brian Newty immediately up to the high side to get around Zach Cox, and Dave Wright continues to be in that third spot. Joe Wright back into the fifth spot, and we got a crash on the front stretch. Michael White and Nick Mather around.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at it, Josh, but I think that was a case of new tires being a little too aggressive.
Take a look at the start here. We take a look at Michael White. Oh, that actually happened well in front of Michael White. Let's rewind that back, and that actually started with Nick Mather. So Nick to the inside of Joe Wright. And is that Buccino looking down, trying to force it in there 3 wide, and And Nick, just the meat and the sandwich there, nowheres to go. I hate to play judge and jury there, but I think that one would have to go on the 68 because there's no reason to make a move like that this early in a race, in a run. See the 68 get right into the side of the 16, who had nowheres to go. So, not a lot of damage though. Looks like a pretty clean car right there for Nick, so he's able to get back out.
It brings flashbacks of Alex Bowman and Matt Kenseth.
That brings flashbacks to other iOS races I've seen here, and I'm not going to throw any names out because I'm not a name dropper during broadcasts. We can talk about it afterwards.
Oh, please. I like to drop names. So, if you can drop a name after the broadcast, we can do that.
All right.
Chris Wheeler survived, though, with new tires.
Yeah, Chris Wheeler up into the 7th position, so starting to move a little forward there on those new tires.
And Zachary Cox has not been on pit road since lap 27. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, 26. As we're looking at the 68 of Bacino, have you heard anything over the radio yep, there goes Bacino getting the UL for bringing out the yellow.
Everyone's being real civil tonight, claiming their wrecks.
I hate to use this phrase, but that one was kind of a no-brainer there as far as the 68 just kind of throwing it in where it doesn't belong, but it's his prerogative. He's on fresh tires. He's trying to make his way back up to the front. Sometimes a little patience goes a long way.
On another note, I'm pretty sure we've destroyed the record for the most cautions in a championship race.
I would say so, considering the first one was at Atlanta, and last year it was at
Vegas caution free.
Vegas caution free. I think the Atlanta race had 4 cautions.
Well, on this one, Colin is going to take the outside.
You know what? I kind of like that move. Because look who's behind him, Dave Wright. And we know that Dave Wright is a pretty good restarter. So he might be able to get a decent restart here and get to the outside of Newty and let Colin pull away.
Yeah, got to keep an eye on the 51 here on those old tires.
Yeah, for sure. And the 22 right up there in 5th spot. He's got new tires. Let's see what he can do here on this restart as the pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. We're re-racked, restacked, getting ready to refire. Colin Willems back to the gas. Green flag is in the air. A great jump for Willems, and there you go. You see Dave Wright was able to pull right alongside Brian Newty, but not able to get there. As Newty's easily going to clear both him and Zachary Cox and set his sights forward onto Colin Willems. How about Chris Wheeler now? Down 3 wide on the bottom. Move him up into the 3rd position.
What a great race for Chris Wheeler.
Yeah, doing what he has to do to be there at the end. Strategy is starting to pay off as we're watching Dave Wright just slide backwards. And Colin Willems getting chased down now by Brian Newty. Both of them running almost identical times. So come off of turn number 4. Newty gets really loose there off of 4. Really pushing, trying to catch Willems here. And still Willems able to, or Newty able to run a little bit quicker. Something just happened to Michael Lawrence. He's slow on the front stretch. No caution. It looks like he might have lost it there coming off of turn number 4.
I don't think you can hurt that car anymore.
No, that's for sure. As we're taking a look at Derek Chapu drifting it off of turn number 4. He's going to let Will Witt look down to the inside. Will having a great run too, trying to move himself up into the 4th position, which he's going to by using that dog leg there on the backstretch and setting himself up into turns 3 and 4. Textbook pass here at Phoenix. So a great run for both those drivers, the 35 and the 37. But again, I can't talk about it enough how great of a run Chris Wheeler's having right now. Sylvan Seguin on the front stretch, spun around, and the yellow comes out.
That's unfortunate. Or maybe it is a break for Chris Wheeler. He was 0.2 faster than our leaders that lap.
Yeah, so maybe a bit of a good thing for him. That's going to bring up another Wreckage Rewind here and see if we can see what happened to Sylvan. And I think it's exactly what we've been seeing all night. Just being a little low off of turn number 4 here and just losing it all by yourself. There it is. He's already done that once tonight, and then he tries to keep it going. Looks like he dropped it in a gear and may have went too many gears there and spun it around on the front stretch, and sounds like he stalled it, tried to get it refired. Ends up hitting the reset button as Michael Lawrence comes by, so that's what brings out our yellow. Brian Newty.
One thing, sorry, Josh, I was just gonna say one thing to keep an eye on here is Colin Williams and Brian Newty both pitted on about lap 40. Chris Wheeler pitted on lap 60. I wonder if he can make it on fuel from here.
That's true. Let's take a look at our pit strategy here, and we'll look at our last pit lap. And it's exactly what we see. We can see that Colin Williams and Brian Newty both pit last on lap 39. Chris Wheeler, Will Witt, Derek Chapu all on lap 59. Michael White on 64. He topped off before they went back green. TJ Floyd, Bacino, and Nick Mather all on 59 as well. I'm sorry, Nick Mather on 39. But TJ and Bacino on 59. Now we see Dave Wright, Zach Cox, Mike Lawrence, Eddie Morris Jr., Joe Wright, and Sylvan Seguin all on pit road right now. So pit strategy playing out here as the race continues. And we're almost getting down to the nitty-gritty here, as we have 45 laps to go next time they cross the line.
Yeah, I mean, I really hate people that win races on fuel strategy by not pitting, but I think it might come down to this with Wheeler, because I got to think that Williams and Newty have to pit again.
Oh, that's for sure. And when it comes to, winning on pit strategy, when it comes to the championship, you really can't blame them for really trying to get that pit strategy and do something different that the leaders aren't. And we see all 13 of you watching right now live with us. We've got, let's see, 1 on Twitch, 6 on YouTube, and 6 on Facebook. Let us know in the comments who you are pulling for to win the championship. Who you think is going to win the championship out of Chris Williams. Wow. Colin Williams, Brian Newty, Chris Wheeler, or Eddie Morris. Eddie Morris back in traffic right now, but he's got a clean car and he's got some tires on that thing now. Let's see if he can move his moves to the front. But yeah, let us know. I'm curious to see who you think our champion will be in 45 laps. We already know who Cassie says the champion's going to be, so she doesn't have to respond, but she can.
So I know Wheeler and Eddie have a set of tires left. Does Newty have a set of tires left here too?
I believe Newty has a set of tires. I believe Colin still has one set too. So it's going to be interesting here as we wind down. I believe they also have a set of tires. So
I think you're right.
well, lights on the pace car are off. Pace car pulls down onto pit road. Colin Willems on the inside hits the gas. We're back green flag racing. A great jump for that 17. And a great restart for the 22 as well. But look at Will Witt up there on the high side getting around the 22. We know Will's got to be on fresh tires because that car is strong right now. As Will's moved himself up into third, and he's looking down to the inside of Brian Newty now to take away the second position. So can Will Witt play spoiler here to win the race? Again, you don't have to win it to win the championship. You just have to be the highest finisher.
Brian Newty looks really tight right now.
They definitely looks a bit tight as Chris Wheeler's looking down to the inside. Let's ride along with Newty. Let's take a look at his steering wheel. Let's see what that car looks like right now. Yeah, he's putting a lot of wheel into that car right now. You see him battling with Chris Wheeler there. Yeah, normally by this point you're starting to straighten out the wheel. And he's still turning left, so looks like he might have beat off that right front just a little bit. As you see the 09 making an aggressive move down to the inside. Not quite the driver's eye view, but this is a nice passenger seat view of what these drivers are seeing right now. As Devin Bacino now gets around Brian Newty. Well, we see the 09 slide up the track just a little bit. Newty's going to look back down to the inside of the 09, but I think that car is just too tight right now for him to try to make a move.
Brian Newty's got to be praying for a caution right now. Last lap, he was 0.5 off the pace.
Yeah, and that time he's just really loose off the corner, too. And Will Witt is reeling in the 17 of Colin Willems.
Yeah, we said it earlier. Colin's running that high line, maybe saving that right rear a lot better than some of these guys running that low line.
Well, here at Phoenix too, there's a lot of grip out there as the track heats up. It allows you to find a little different run there. As you see, Colin now down to the bottom and Will up to the high side that time by. So now they both run that little higher line. So I think Will is starting to see what Colin's doing, and he's starting to try to run that same line. Colin is just a little bit faster. Not by much, though. Only 0.05 of a second faster, so.
Will he means business tonight with that Earnhardt throwback.
Yeah, he's been running that car for a few weeks now, and it's really been giving him some confidence. He's been running really well with that paint job, so. You take a look from the front bumper of Will Witt here. Trying to follow in Colin's tire tracks. Colin running a little more defensive of a line here, too.
Yeah, you see Colin get that really good run off the corner. Will's definitely a little faster through the corners right now.
And actually take a look at Will's speed and his steering inputs right now. As we got a caution out on the track, it looks like Joe Wright spun around on the backstretch. Heavy damage to the right side of that car. We got another car stopped up there as well. Is that Chaput? Yeah, Chaput spun around as well. So, and looks like Eddie Morris might have got a little piece of this as well. Yeah, a little damage to that 8 machine. That's going to bring up another Wreckage Rewind as we try to get this one all sorted out to see what happened between all these drivers here. We'll focus on Joe Wright here. Oh, Chaput bounces off the wall, comes down into Joe. And Joe just spins it down to the inside just to keep it going. What happened to Eddie, though? Because Eddie was involved in this somehow as well. Oh, Chaput smacks the wall again and catches Eddie, so... Oh, and hard contact for Eddie Morris.
Oh, I hate to see that.
So it looks like Chaput, we're going to look at Chaput here. Looks like Chaput bounced off the wall twice, caught Joe, and then hit the wall again and catches Eddie. So taking out 2 intensity drivers in 1 straightaway.
And don't look now, but we've got Colin Willems on pit road along with Brian Newty.
Will Witt on pit road as well. So let's take a look here at the race off pit road. Chris Wheeler staying out in second right now. As Colin's going to beat everybody off pit road. Then Will Witt, Brian Newty, Michael White, Nick Mather. Here comes Derek Chaput. Unfortunately, looks like Eddie Morris still on pit road right now. Try to get some of that damage fixed up. So his championship hopes right now are dwindling, unfortunately, for him.
And that's definitely one of the drawbacks of trying the strategy of I'll stay in back and I'll save my tires is you always have that chance of being caught up, in a caution-filled race like this one.
Yeah, especially when he got back there with really no doing of his own.
With nowheres to go.
So a tough break for Eddie. Dean Qualley says everybody picking on Eddie tonight. It seems that way. Eddie just the magnet to bad luck tonight.
I got to say, Josh, I really like the position Chris Wheeler's in right now. Starting front row, a set of tires in the pits if he needs them late in the race.
Oh, for sure. As long as, it doesn't come down to a 5-lap shootout, he might be in pretty good position. Eddie the pinball machine. There's another driver who I called a pinball machine, mostly because he hit everything and his last name rhymed with machine. But we're not going to talk about that tonight. But I do know it's one of Cody's favorite people.
Josh, I honestly don't know who you're talking about.
His name rhymes with Bustin' Bean.
Ah, gotcha. Maybe due to traumatic incidents that have happened to me in the past, I've blocked that name out of my memory.
I think most in iOS have tonight, but there was one race, I think it was the Bristol race, where Dustin hit everything but the pace car that night. So,
but Sharon was happy.
Sharon was happy. But here we go. Pacino on the inside. Pace car pulls off. Green flag back in the air. And Chris Wheeler does not get a very good jump on Zachary Cox there. Zachary's looking down to the inside. But he's going to fight back on the outside. And I don't know if that's a wise idea. I think if I was Chris, I would just kind of lay back, save my stuff. Because right now he's in the championship position. You don't have to win the race.
Absolutely.
You just have to finish better than the other 3 drivers. It's Colin Willems making some moves now. And here comes Brian Newty to the back bumper of Willems as they're going around the 49 of TJ Floyd. And they've got one car separating them and Chris Wheeler, and that's the 84 of Dave Wright. We know Dave's a tough guy to pass as he's thrown a little bit of a defensive move there. He's also trying to stay right there at Chris Wheeler. Here comes Colin looking down to the inside. He's going to use that dog leg to get us alongside that 84. And into the corner. The 84, though, fighting back on the high side.
Yeah, not helping out in our
Oh!
championship contenders here.
Gets into Newty. Newty around on the front stretch. That's going to bring out a yellow, and that is the second playoff driver to get involved in a mess tonight. Fortunately for Brian Newty, I believe he still has a reset in the pits here because I don't think he's hit anything else tonight. That's going to bring up our Wreckage Rewind as we take a look and see what happened to Brian Newty. And tough break for him as it just looks like, hit the wrong button there. As the 84 just got loose up on the high side, got into the side of the 40. Brian Newty doing everything he can to hold on to it. Do a little Tokyo drift right now. See, Will
Synchronized.
I was
with
gonna say
Will
Will Witt back there also, but Will able to gather it up. Brian Newty not so lucky. Will's still tank slapping back there, and man, Will's able to get through that.
Nicely done, Will Witt.
I'm actually let's go for a little ride here. How about what you think? Let's take a look from the roll bar of Will Witt here. We'll do real speed here so you can see exactly what Will saw. And look at the left side here and look at Will Witt's hands as he comes off the corner here. That's incredible. That's a piece of driving right there.
I cannot have any more affection for Will Witt right now. The guy is amazing.
So Eddie Morris and Brian Newty both on pit road here. Let's take a look at Brian Newty. We'll switch camera views here, see if we can see if Newty had a reset or not, which he did. Now, does he have tires? No tires on the car, just getting back out there.
No, we know he's used both his sets. But Josh, if you're David right there in the championship race, I really think you got to just let Brian Newty go in that situation. You're racing for fourth place. It's not for the win.
And I gotta say this. I actually think Dave was trying to stay out of the way, but he just got up into the gray there and got loose and came down. So it's tough. As Austin Bauer says, "Damn, that sucks, dude." Well, we still got a lot of laps. We still got 25 laps to go. And Brian Newty's fast, so I'm still not counting him out at this point. There's a lot of racing left.
For sure, and I don't think we're counting out cautions yet either.
No. And then Dean Qualley has a question for you, Cody. Are you racing tomorrow night?
What do we got tomorrow night? iOS trucks?
Truck Series.
Yeah, I might be in that one. I'll race if he races.
There you go. Well, it's going to be one of the qualities in the race, whether it's Dean, whether it's Brooke, whether it's Jackson. Got a racing family right there. Maybe Haley Deegan will jump in that truck and you just won't know it. No, I don't want to do that. We don't want Joe to take her out again.
Yeah, or Bustin' Bean. That was a really short appearance by Haley Deegan.
It was. Can you blame her?
Not at all.
Well, lights on the pace car are off. We're going to re-rack, restack, get ready to refire here at Phoenix, or ISM Speedway, if you will. Or IMS Speedway? I don't know. This track has way too many names.
I don't know. I always call it Phoenix.
Phoenix. It's a track I'd always want to go to because right there in the background you can see Rattlesnake Hill. A great place to watch a race from.
Papa Moore will be there this year for the championship race.
Awesome. Pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. And Buccino's going to lead him back down to the restart zone yet again. Takes off early like he's been most of the race. Green flag back in the air. What a jump for Zachary Cox there. But Chris Wheeler and Colin Williams battling side by side. Colin's going to take that position away. He's already to the outside of Zachary Cox, trying to take a second away. So Colin showing some speed late in the race here. As we have just 22 laps to go to settle it.
Colin really strong on that outside line.
Yeah, he's really making that work. He's kind of been working that all night long, and he's kind of showing why he's really making that lane work. And Brian Newty, all the way up into the 10th spot, racing with Nick Mathers now, trying to move up into 9th. So Newty driving with a little bit of the red mist right now, trying to get himself back up to the front here. Colin's still working up high here as Chris Wheeler's giving up the second place position, or third place, excuse me, to Michael White, but Wheeler looking back down to the inside here. Oh, Michael White loose. Oh no, now Wheeler caught up in a wreck here on the front stretch, and that is the third playoff driver to get taken out on the front stretch here.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Chris Wheeler having the race of his life. Hopefully he'll be okay with that reset.
And we've seen it 3 times now tonight. That car up on the high side just gets a little bit loose. Almost up in like the marbles of the gray there. There's just no grip there. And comes down into our playoff driver. So a tough break for the 22 of Chris Wheeler. As Chris, you know what though? Cody, this may not be a bad thing.
I was actually thinking the same thing. He's got a set of tires.
Exactly.
A quick repair, and what do we got? Like 16 laps to go.
We'll have about 15 or 16 laps to go when we take the green flag. Let's make sure he has those tires. We're going to follow Chris Wheeler's pit stop here.
By the way, Devin Bacino going down pit road.
He's also got a fresh set of tires in pit road.
He's going to be fast.
Eddie Moore is still trying to get some of that damage from earlier fixed. And let's see what Wheeler does here, if he's got tires or not. We'll see that car pop back into place. No, he didn't check his reset.
I hope iRacing didn't get him.
Looks like you know what?
He's going to have to go around again.
Well, no, what I was going to say is he might just have slight damage. He might be trying to save that reset in case something else happens here.
Yeah, you might be right, Josh. That damage might not be that bad.
Because looking at it, just looks like a little bit of bent sheet metal. Doesn't look like the wheels in any way that's bad. Let's take a look from his roll bar here as he gets onto the straightaway. Let's take a look at the steering wheel to see if it's straight up and down when he's going straight here. Or it might be a little cocked to the right because of how much... yeah, that steering wheel looks good to me. He might be in good shape.
Quick stat on the race. Junior has officially gone down pit road without getting a speeding penalty for the first time off all race. Everyone give him a round of applause.
That's fantastic. Good job for Junior. So I think this is a great move here. I think this is actually a lucky break for Chris Wheeler. I'm going to continue to say that. I think that might be a championship winning break for him.
I know we have to be non-biased, but who would you rather be in right now in this race with 16 laps to go?
Who would I rather what?
Who would you rather be? What position would you rather be in? Willems, Newty, Wheeler, or Morris?
Man, I'd rather be in Wheeler's position right now.
I agree with you.
He's got 4 feel goods on right now. He showed some speed. yeah, he's back in the pack a little bit, but these guys all got to know he's a playoff driver, and giving him a little bit of room. I know we've seen drivers try to give as much room as they can, and right, we've seen turn 4 be tricky all night long. So I really can't fault either White or Wright for that, but we'll see what happens here. Is Kyle Williams going to lead him back to the starting zone with Will Witt to his outside? Could this be the one that Will gets now? Pace car pulls off. Collins back to the gas. We're back green flag racing. What a jump Zachary Cox got on that second lane there. Already looking down to the inside of Will Witt, trying to take that second position away. While they're side by side. Oh, Zach, across the track. Yellow flag is out. How did nobody hit him?
Wow.
That was wild there. Let's dial that one up on the Wreckage Rewind and let's see exactly what happens. We saw the 51 just get loose. I mean, he just lost it there on the inside of the 35. Spins it back across the track. See where our playoff drivers are. Chris Wheeler way out in front of it. Look at Junior. Junior doing an evasive move there. That's incredible to watch a car like spin up the track like that and nobody hits him.
It's never a good feeling when you see that car coming back up the track.
Chris Wheeler already up a couple spots, up into the 8th position. Unfortunately, these caution laps are hurting him. He did not want to see this.
This is coming down to the end. It's getting good. I'm glad I'm up here for this one and not down there.
Yeah, because you know the feeling of being the pressure of going for that championship.
Yeah, luckily in my race, I didn't have any cautions to deal with, so it was just a matter of laying down clean laps and staying smart.
But Cody, isn't that a little bit more nerve-wracking not having any cautions because you're sitting there wondering when the caution's going to come out?
It is when Brian Newty's behind you.
Yeah, because if you had a restart, there was a good chance that he might have gotten a little better restart than you. Yeah, that's always something in the back of someone's mind. Newty's a great restarter. We all know that. So, if he's behind me, I'd be worried about it too.
Yeah, and Brian likes to do all he can and play off strategy. So in that race, he was waiting as long as he could to pit, and I was staying on a normal pit cycle. So yeah, if the caution would have came out, Brian Newty probably would be your season 2 champion. Yeah, Will Witt with a chance to win his first race in iOS. Colin Willems with a chance to win his first championship. Brian Newty a chance to win his first championship.
Couple names up here we're not used to seeing as well. Nick Mather up into the 5th position. He could be in a position if something was to happen in front of him, he could make something happen. You never know. We've seen a couple drivers lose it off of turn 4 and collect drivers, so.
If Nick Mather takes the checkered flag here, the bot squad will lose their collective minds.
Do you want
as
to
well as Colin.
Yep, Colin taking the outside. Smart move here because he sees that Newty has already climbed his way up into the 3rd position. So trapping Newty behind Will Witt is a great move here, I think. That might be a championship winning move all on its own right there.
For sure. I'm just going to have to correct you real quick, Josh. It's the outside.
It's the outside, yes. The outside.
Chris Wheeler starting in the 4th row.
Yeah, Chris Wheeler crawled himself back up in the 8th position with those fresh tires. And he was one of the faster cars on track that last time by with those freshies. So Also, we see the banged up car, the 82 there, restarting in fourth. So that could kind of hurt Chris here on the restart. But Colin's back to the gas, and we're back green flag racing. And a big jump for that 17 machine as Brian Newty almost made it 3 wide. Thought better of it. Smart move there. And look at Chris Wheeler up on the outside. Making some moves back here already.
Yeah, Will Witt tried to time that restart, timed it wrong, checked up the field, and Colin Williams saw it and took off.
Oh, we got a wreck in the back. But no caution. We stay green. Colin Williams continues the lead. Buccino now looking to the inside. We got a yellow on track. It looks like Dave Wright having some issues there. And let's bring up another Wreckage Rewind to see exactly what happened to Dave here. Is I think, that was part of, that actually had nothing to do with Dave. That actually happened right in front of Dave. So we'll do this one in slow motion. We see TJ Floyd at the bottom left of your screen there in that green car fighting with the 09 on Michael White. And I think TJ may have just overdriven the corner kind of straight there through the dog leg. Catches the 09. That catches the 84 of Dave Wright. A little contact with Chaput, but Chaput's able to make his way through. I thought we were going to stay green flag here. But then Dave just, with the momentum on that outside, just loses it on the front stretch. And I think Eddie Morris just barely getting through there. But I think that had to do more with he just never was back under control. So Joe Wright comes on pit road here. That's going to move Chris Wheeler up into the 6th position. We're going to have a 5-lap shootout, Cody. Chris Wheeler's got those fresh tires on the outside.
It's going to be really interesting, too, to watch Buccino on this, to see what he decides to do. He's on fresher tires. He's starting right behind Colin. Because I'm assuming Colin's going to take the inside and leave Newty behind Will Witt.
Yeah, that's what he did last time, and that was a smart move, trying to keep keep Newty pinched behind Will. And we know, well, let me just verify something by looking here. See, I thought Will and Colin were in a team together, but they are not. Because if they were teammates, that would have been even more interesting. Kind of using that 35 as a pick to keep Newty behind him. And yeah, we see Kyle Williams lining up on the inside here.
That only happens in the Pelican series when you get that all-star lineup of the 52, Will Witt, and Colin Williams.
Hey, Colin pushed me to a great victory in the Pelican, so I really can't complain. He's a good guy to have when he's on your side.
Can't argue with that.
And when you're racing against him, it can be tough. Me and him had a great run going at the iRacing Super Speedway, actually. Till a little net code ruined my day. But Colin Williams to the inside, Will Witt to the outside again. The story here is, can Will win his first race here? Who's going to be the champion, especially with Chris Wheeler in that 6th position with 4 fresh tires? Lights are still on the pace car. I thought we were going to be going green next time by, but was the yellow extended?
I'm not too sure what happened there. I'm surprised Joe Wright went down pit road unless he needed to take fuel. So that really did benefit Chris Wheeler here because he moved up a row. He was going to restart 7th.
And personally, I would almost want to restart 7th, be on that bottom lane, be able to use the dog leg to my advantage, maybe take it down, almost down to the wall, get as low as I could, try to make up as many spots as I could.
We really haven't seen many people do that tonight.
Oh, we saw Brian Newty do that in qualifying, but that was the only time we really saw it. I like to use as much track as I can down there, so You'll see me down there tomorrow night for sure. Well, here we go. Colin Willems in control of the field. We're going to have a 4-lap shootout. Can Chris Wheeler do anything in 4 laps? Can Brian Newty get this advantage? Here goes Colin Willems back to the green. And Will Witt and Buccino battling side by side. That's going to let Williams just start to pull away. And there goes Buccino around the 35.
Will bump drafting.
Yeah, Will really giving a push. Here comes Newty now to the inside, and Chris Wheeler fighting on the outside of that 16. That's not going to help him very much here. So we have just 3 laps to go to settle the championship, and now Zach Cox looking to the inside of Wheeler. So Wheeler, I think that damage is hurting him a little bit more than he thought it was going to.
Brian Newty giving it all he has on the inside line.
Yeah, Newty, and now around Will Witt. And he's hoping that Buccino can get around Colin, or at least fight Colin enough for Newty to get up there. As we have just 2 laps to go to settle it. Right now, Colin Willems with a 0.4 second lead over Devin Buccino. I get it. Buccino can win this race. It really doesn't matter to Willems as long as he finishes ahead of Brian Newty. As he comes off of turn number 4, white flag will be in the air. Just 4 more corners for Colin Willems. All he's got to do is keep it on the track and keep it straight. It looks like he kind of backed up his corner a little bit because he's not worried about Buccino. He's more worried about Brian Newty. Brian Newty, though, has got a head of speed right now. Can he make a last-ditch effort here? As Colin Willems comes off of turn number 4, checker flag is in the air. Your iOS champion, Colin Willems, with the win. Devin Buccino coming in second. Brian Newty coming up just a little short yet again. Comes home second in the championship. Will Witt having a great run coming home in 4th. Nick Mather with a top 5 tonight in the last iOS Cup Series race. Great run for him. Chris Wheeler comes home in 7th. That's going to put him 3rd in season points. And a tough night for Eddie Morris back in 12th. With no front end on that thing to finish his championship bid. But right now, Colin Willems celebrating on the front stretch. That is one
Awesome job by Colin.
That is one happy man right there, and everybody doing a little demolition derby on the front stretch. What a win, though. I mean, out of anybody in the... I don't think there's one person in the iOS series that does not like Colin Willems. Just a great guy. And this is something that everybody's happy to see, is that man win a championship.
For sure, 100%. Colin's one of the most liked guys in the league and one of the most respected guys. And it's really great to see him bring home a championship.
Well, let's see if we can get a word with our 3rd place finisher and our championship runner-up, Brian Newty. He's still up there. There he is. Let's talk to Brian here. Brian, you got Josh and Cody up in the booth. You got us?
I got you.
Man, a great run tonight. A little disappointing. Coming home in 3rd. 2nd place in the championship tonight. Yet again, another one just slipped away. But overall, a great race. It seemed like lap cars getting loose off of 4 tended to be the downfall for 3 of the 4 championship drivers. Overall, though, how was the race? How did you see that race from your point of view?
It was a close one. I knew that, staying on Colin's strategy. I knew was going to be the best bet. I felt like me and him were the two faster cars, especially after Eddie got caught up in that one incident. I knew as long as I stayed with him, I'd be all right. But I just got involved in that one little wreck. I felt like I was just slightly faster than him, but I just couldn't pass him on the bottom side. And then I got involved in that one wreck. The 84, I guess, got loose and just caught my right rear, spun me around, and then burned up my rear tires in that spin. And I didn't really have any rear grip after that, really.
Brian, I saw you running that low line. Colin kept kind of running that high line. Was that sort of the difference that he was holding you down and, like you said, burning up your right rear?
Yeah, the bottom was just hard to pass when you're passing somebody that's of equal speed. You really need to kind of get the outside, and I had a chance on the outside at one point, but I kind of got bottled up by my teammate. He kind of got into the wall, and I couldn't get around him, and it was just the way it goes.
Yeah, well, a great run. I know the second championship in 2 nights that got away from you, but I know you can't be happier the way that this season's turned out for you and all your racing this year. Anybody you want to thank? Any shots you got to give before we let you go?
Oh yeah, as always, I gotta thank my beautiful wife for letting me doing this. Gotta thank you guys up in the booth, all the admins, Stephen Black's in the process of moving right now, so he's kind of out of the works right now, so it's kind of just me and Sylvan. So hopefully he can make tomorrow night. Not sure. We might have a different fifth driver. And then also want to give a shout out to Isaiah Gill, who couldn't make it tonight, and everybody over at Gill's Dump Truck Service and Pizzeria, the fastest dump trucks in Northwest. Also got to give a huge shout out to Colin Willems. He drove a hell of a race all night. Same with Chris Wheeler. He was right there at the end, and Eddie. He was there at the beginning, and then he just got caught up in that one mess. So it just kind of screwed him up. And just everybody in iOS, it was fun. And now the time has ended, and we're going to be starting up the new league, the SCSRA, starting up in 3 weeks.
Awesome.
On Wednesday nights.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations, and hopefully we talk to you again in the new series.
Yep, hopefully.
Great run, Brian.
All right. Well, that was our third place finisher and second place in the championship, Brian Newty. Let's bring in our second place finisher, Devin Pacino. Devin, you got Josh and Cody up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. How you doing, guys?
Man, great run for you. You seem like you showed some speed there at the end. Just not able to get to Colin there, as I know Colin really didn't care if he won the races or not. He just had to finish in front of Newty. But strategy seemed to be the way to go tonight, as everybody was taking tires a little bit differently. How did your strategy work out for you, and what was your strategy coming into the race?
Yeah, our strategy was all over the place. This was a huge strategy race, especially with the number of cautions. And I feel like a lot of people try to split it up into 40, 80, and then finish to 120. But me and Shapu, we were working together, and we were trying to make it to lap 60, which worked out perfect because Brian and Colin passed me on lap 59, and we got a caution, so it was a perfect time for us to take our first set. And then I got way too aggressive, tried to Nick Mather. We kind of checked up, and I just had so much momentum. Made it 3 wide, stupid move and wrecked him. And then we were leading on lap 100, and I saw Colin. He was just flying to the field, and I figured he was going to get by me either way. And if I pit, I wasn't going to have enough time, which I didn't. But, with him on fresh tires, there was no shot. So I'd rather give myself a chance to drive through the field than trying to hold him off, which we did a really good job of. We just ran up by a couple laps short.
Devin, it was great watching you. I enjoyed the race. Hell of a qualifying lap. I saw you try to stay with them on strategy. Do you think that was really the difference there, or was it just too many cautions?
I think it was my bonehead move with Nick getting into him, because having to drive through those guys killed me, because if we didn't wreck Nick, we were restarting 7th or 9th, and we would have gotten by some guys. And come lap 100 after Colin and Brian pit, we would have had that same set feel a little bit better and not have however many laps it was driving through the field on that set. But it was a huge strategy race. It was hard to figure out what everyone was doing because it looked like some guys were maybe on 2, 4, none. So it was tough out there. I feel like we gave one away. I felt like we had a really, really strong car, practice, qualifying. So yeah, it sucks to come home in second, but I'm really happy for Colin.
Well, congratulations on the second place finish. I know it was a strong run for you. I know you got a laundry list of shout outs you got to give before I let you go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got to thank Level Up Subs, myself, Dev Sports Cards are on the car. We got some really big things coming for the SCSRA next season. We actually landed some sponsorship for that, so that's really cool. Can't wait to announce that. New Craft Fine Jewelry and Design, Mommy and Me Registry. They help with your maternity fund because a lot of states don't offer that. And you guys for doing this at Intensity. I may have been a short 2 seasons across all leagues with iOS. Sad to see it come to an end. Excited for the future. Love the group of guys. Love what you do, Josh. And I really appreciate everything.
Well, Devin, I appreciate that. We appreciate you. And we look forward to talking to you when the new series starts up.
You got it. I will see you guys one more time tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan. So that was our second place finisher, Devin Buccino. Let's bring in the man of the hour, though. The man, the myth, the legend, Colin Willems. Colin, you got Josh and Cody up in the booth. You got us?
Fellas, how we doing?
Man, how are you doing? You must be, on level 9 right now. I mean, to win the race and the championship with a hard charging Brian Newty coming, I mean, that's got to feel pretty good for you.
I am elated, Josh. No, that was a hell of a race. That was a lot of fun, a lot of tight racing. I hope it's exciting to watch, as exciting as it was to drive in.
Colin Willems with the championship, buddy. Man, I it was so exciting to watch it. I actually preferred being up here than down there, but taking right sides early on. Do you think that was the difference?
I didn't take right sides early on. Stage break was fuel only, and then I don't know, lap 45 or so I took 4, and then around 85 I took 4.
Oh man, we had that all wrong up here then.
Yeah, on our screen, we saw your car get jacked up, so we thought you took right sides early on in the race.
But no, buddy, that was me who was jacked up.
That car's a rocket, don't come a knocking. But you joined an elusive list of iOS champions. I mean, we had Dustin Dean winning the first season, we had Cody winning last season, and you being the final winner of the iOS series. That's got to feel pretty good for you right there.
No, like I said, I'm super, super, super happy. Last season came close in Truck and Cup. I had a chance to win both and didn't get either one. The only shot I had this season in iOS was this one, so I'm really happy I locked it down.
Real quick, Colin, how many laps of practice you put in this week?
I put about 50 in on Monday, and I used the wrong setup. I didn't know which setup we were using. I guessed wrong, but unfortunate enough, I still gained enough experience that I needed.
Well, awesome.
Oh, nicely done, bud. It was great seeing you.
Yeah, awesome win, man. Congratulations. Before I let you go, anybody you want to shout out? I know you got a couple people you got to shout out tonight.
Yeah, I got a long list. I'm going to try to hit everybody here. So, Cassie, as always, for letting me do this, supporting me every week, watching every race, cheering me on, giving me constructive feedback, after the race, let me know, I think you're running a little high here and there. She's a good crew chief for sure. Nick and Cora always supporting me, even as competitors and teammates, always there, shouting me out. I got to thank you, Josh, the broadcasting team, everybody at Intensity Broadcasting, you, Joe, Dave, Eddie, Ellen, that ringer you got there. You're coming, bud. Don't worry. Who else? Brian Newty, took over. I can't swear, but a poop storm, a little while ago, and I think he's done a fantastic job getting this ship back on track. Still want to give that shout out to Dean Qualley and Max McClure too, because without them, we wouldn't be doing this at all. I want to give a huge thank you to everybody in the field. Everybody raced me clean. No issues with everybody or with anybody. Sorry. Had a hell of a battle there with Newty and Buccino for the lead there. I think we were 3 wide at one point. Man, my heart was going. That was a lot of fun. Everybody in iOS, everybody at Intensity, everybody who's out there watching, supported me all season. Thanks, everybody. But I do have to give a special thanks to Cody Moore. He's been a friend and teammate throughout, every week, every race. Obviously an experienced driver, very fast. Has no problem sharing tips, pointers, giving me advice here and there, and I really appreciate it, Cody. And I'm just really happy to finally get this done.
Well, again, congratulations on the win. And as we move forward, I'm sure we'll be talking to you again, whether it's tomorrow night in the Truck Series, in the Pelican Series, or in the new series starting up in a couple weeks.
That's right. I appreciate everything, guys. Have a great night.
You as well. Go celebrate. Go have a beer for me.
On number 3, bud. Thanks.
So that was your champion, Colin Williams. We're going to call in our third place in points, Chris Wheeler. Chris, you got Josh and Cody up in the booth. You got us?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Man, we're doing great. I know it's not the finish that you wanted, but definitely drove your guts out, made a few gutsy calls there to try to get the win. The strategy you were on, you looked like you were on a completely different strategy than both Colin and Newty. And was that what you were doing? Were you trying to be off strategy of those two to try to do something different?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to try and do something different from them. Otherwise, I just follow them the whole night. Those guys are so fast. I had to get off from their strategy, and I seen Devin did the same one, so I figured I'd just follow him and see how it worked out. It's going pretty good there till it got caught up, but that's racing.
Chris, you've had a great season. I think you were not in a negative way, but I think you were the Cinderella of the playoffs. I think a lot of people were rooting for you, and man, you brought it in the final race. Nothing to hang your head on. What was kind of going through your mind there when you pitted, took fresh tires, and you and Devin had the freshest tires out of anyone there?
Yeah, it definitely was. I was hoping it would be good enough, but I knew the tire fall off wasn't quite as much as some other tracks, and so I knew it was gonna be a struggle. It's hard to get around people at this track because if you get on that throttle just a little too hard, you're gonna spin it out. So it's just trying to find that balance, but unfortunately, we got too many cautions there at the end, and those other guys couldn't burn up their tires enough for the new tires to really make a difference.
Yeah, before we let you go, I have one more question for you. That incident we saw, when that happened, I actually thought that might have been the best thing to happen to you because you were able to go in and get fresh tires. But I noticed you didn't take a reset. Did you use your reset earlier in the race, or did you just not have it checked, or what happened there? And did the damage actually hurt you a little bit on that run?
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't use the reset. I still had it in the bank, and I kind of figured it was going to get dicey there on those last couple restarts, but everybody kept it pretty clean, and so I was fighting myself whether or not to take the reset, and I only had like 20 seconds of damage, so I got that repaired, and I think it probably did hurt me a little bit. I would have been better off to take the reset for sure.
Again, before we let you go, anybody you want to shout out, any thanks you got to give?
I just like to thank my family for putting up with me doing this all night, and I'd like to thank you guys for the great broadcasts you brought for the past 3 seasons, and look forward to more. And like to thank all the admins of the league, new and old, because it's been a great run.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations. Nothing to be ashamed of tonight. You ran your heart out to have a great finish, and we'll look forward to seeing what you can do when the SCSRA starts up.
Yes, sir. I'll be there. I look forward to it.
Thanks again. Have a great one.
You too.
As your third place in points, Chris Wheeler. Let's bring in Eddie Morris. Eddie, Josh, and Cody in the booth. You got us?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Man, I know it's not the race and the result that you wanted, but nothing to be ashamed of. You had a great race going there at the front till you got caught up in a couple wrecks there that just weren't your doing. But overall, a great season. Being in the playoffs. I think you've made the playoffs every season, haven't you?
No, I missed out on it last season. I think Dustin Dean made a point that I missed last season, so I didn't make it. I think he had a grudge because I asked to be traded to Joe's team after he used his first round pick on me.
Gotcha.
Truck and cup, so.
Gotcha. So 2 out of the 3 seasons you've made the top 4, and that's nothing to be ashamed of because consistency pays off. So congratulations on that. And man, we were pulling for you. We were hoping you were gonna have a good run there, but unfortunately things got taken away from you. Is there anything different you could have done during the race to avoid anything, or was it just out of your hands completely?
I spun on lap 42 or 43, and I had to use my fast repair on that. It's probably one of the few times this season that I've had to use a fast repair because of my own doings. But then I still needed one after for somebody else's stuff. Um, so yeah, it's how it is sometimes, I guess. But I don't know. I went back and watched the replay, and I couldn't tell you what was going on or what was being thought of at the time. But I don't know. It is what it is.
Hey Eddie, I got two things for you. First of all, Dustin Dean sucks, and second
Absolutely.
of all, yeah, and second of all, at any point in the race, did you consider hitting the pace car?
Maybe towards the end, whenever I realized that's probably the only thing that hadn't been hit or hit me, or yeah. So I mean, the thought did cross my mind.
Man, I felt bad for you out there, buddy, but hell of a race, and sorry it didn't work out.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, like the whole plan was after I had to use my fast repair, just kind of chill out and let the strategy take over. Because man, I feel I could have got a lot of track position, maybe not been up there and won it or anything. I'm not saying anything would have been different, but I feel like my strategy was pretty good there. Before I got hit there at the end, I think I maybe had to add less than 5 gallons of gas. So, it was pretty close. Either it was less than 5 or I could have made it to the end at that point. I don't really remember, but it didn't fall that way. And that's how racing goes.
Yeah, you were in good company tonight because not just you, but Brian Newty and Chris Wheeler all got taken out at one point during the race. So I know it's, again, not the way you wanted to finish it, but, it wasn't just you having bad luck tonight. It seemed like everybody but Colin had some bad luck tonight, but a great finish, a great way to end the season. And I know you're looking forward to the SCSRA.
The who?
Oh, that's right. You're not running the season next year. I know you're moving over to Extreme Forces Racing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Next season's gonna be a blast. Hopefully, we can move over to there and take care of some of the problems and stuff like that. Because let's face it, some people just shouldn't be continuing on with the league. But that's how I feel about it. And if you wreck people on a constant basis, you shouldn't have a place in the league until you can learn how to race right. But hopefully that's how we'll handle stuff in the Extreme Forces Racing League. And if you can't drive, then you're gone. I mean, that's just how it should be if you're a constant problem. But it's been fun here at iOS. It's been awesome being here since day one. I appreciate Max, pulling me in and us getting this thing started and it becoming what it is today. It's kind of sad that it's going, but I'm looking forward to bigger and better things in the future. So.
Yeah, that's for sure, Eddie. And before we let you go, any shout outs you got to give? Anyone you want to say thanks to before you leave?
Man, Intensity Broadcasting, the best broadcasters in the business. I guess we have to count Cody in on that now since he made it through the race. Good job on that.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Shout out to Colin for winning the championship. Newty, I know how it feels to come in second, brother. It's not that great, but congrats to Newty on a good race and Wheeler for finishing third, and everybody that lets me do this. Yeah, it's about it, man.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations making the top four yet again. It's nothing to hang your head on. You had a great run there at the end, and we'll look forward to seeing what the future brings.
Sounds good, guys.
Well, Cody, that was a fantastic finish to a fantastic season here in the iOS season, and a lot of cautions here, but Phoenix can be a tough track, and we really saw that play out tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I would have loved to see the championship contenders have a cleaner race and kind of let them race it out. But like you said, it's Phoenix, and that stuff's gonna happen.
For sure. As we say goodbye to the iOS series, when we move on in 3 weeks, we'll be bringing you coverage of the SCSRA, which will be right after. That will be running Wednesday nights, I believe.
That is correct.
Yep, it will be the Xfinity Series. on Wednesday nights. You're going to have the Extreme Forces season on Mondays and Tuesdays. So we look forward to seeing all the racing here on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget, tomorrow night, you've got your doubleheader. You got the LNS Late Model Series before the iOS Truck Series Championship finale. We'll be watching. We heard there might be a surprise different driver if Stephen Black does not make it. That would actually move. Let's see who that would move into the Final Four if Stephen doesn't make it in. And looking at my points here, that would move Derek Chaput into the Final Four. So interesting there. We'll have to see if Steven shows up or if Chaput is going to be setting himself up for a championship run.
That would be amazing if David Chaput won a championship. But Josh, before we sign off, I really want to thank you for letting me be a part of this. I want some of it back. Made some flubs, but I got to tell you, man, I had a blast doing this with you, and like I said, I really appreciate you letting me up here in the booth, and I hope I didn't disappoint you too bad.
No, you did great, Cody. It was a lot of fun up here. We had some fun. It's nice being able to chat with somebody, and especially having an iOS champion in the booth with me. I mean, that kind of brings things full circle here, as it's the last night of the iOS Cup Series. So, again, don't forget to join us tomorrow night. And Cody, anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, again, just thank you, thank Max, thank Dean, thank Brian for all they've done for iOS, and thank everyone involved. And like you said, it's sad to see it go, but like Eddie said, hopefully everyone's on to bigger and better things.
That's for sure. And for everybody here at Intensity Broadcasting, thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at IntensityBroad1. So you can find us there as well, and join us every night for live racing here on iRacing. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over and out.